Okay, it's finally time for the video where I talk about my art business. I've been in the process of reworking my sticker shop and art shop for probably, I don't know, a month, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe a little less. And we're finally almost done. I'm going to talk about when I opened my shop, what sort of decisions I made when I did that initially, how it's gone, how many sales I've made, and sort of the growth of traffic to my shop. And then at that point, I think you're going to see exactly why a change was necessary. And I'm going to talk about the changes I'm making and how I'm hoping that they will go. Also, hello, I'm Sevalian. I make videos about games, development, and creativity. Going really hard on the creativity lately, especially after the Unity news, but that's okay. We're all creative people, right? A quick history lesson on my sticker shop. If you've been watching the channel since around 2018, which is about when I started it, you might know that I've already done a print-on-demand shop before, and it didn't really go anywhere, and a couple of reasons for that. One is just that my art skills were not really developed. I needed a couple more years to practice and learn, but also I was using Redbubble. The quality on Redbubble for me has been a little sketchy, so that was one problem. And then also you just can't do a lot of the things that I wanted to do with stickers on print on demand, which I have talked about before. Flash forward to last year. I wanted to try print on demand again because I had been doing a lot of art and I felt like I had really improved and I really liked what I was coming out with. I even had people asking, these would be great stickers. And so I spent some time. I looked into, I think, 5 different print-on-demand services. I have reviews for them. I have a bunch of them in one review, and then Printify I did later, and so Printify was on its own. But I did end up going with Printify because I really liked the quality of the prints, and I liked how small the stickers could be without that great big kiss cut line. And I was pretty happy with that choice. The big driving factor for print on demand for me is having to ship things. I don't live in a convenient place where it's easy to ship things, and I don't have a car on purpose. I don't like driving. I prefer not to have a car. But that situation makes it very hard to routinely ship things. And what I also did was host this on my website instead of trying to do something like Etsy or like Society6 or something like that. And what this meant was that all of the traffic that comes to my website, I have to put there. Like there's no reason a random person would find and look at my website unless I'm advertising on social media, showing up in search results, which honestly, I'm not even sure that's possible these days with all the AI-driven blogs scooping up all the SEO. Maybe it is, but it seems very difficult now to show up organically in search results. If I'm not promoting the website, it's not going to get any traffic because it's not connected to anything else. And this was the first challenge, which I addressed by opening an Instagram account specifically for my shop, Sevalian Art. But I made this new Instagram so that it could be focused on my art, focused on finding people who enjoy that art and maybe want to buy it, instead of sort of muddying the waters with my Twitch stuff, my YouTube stuff, my game dev stuff. I started this new Instagram and I posted all kinds of things like sketches, finished pieces, photos of print samples, reels even, because I knew Instagram was really pushing the reels, especially last year. And so I did some reels of process, I did some reels of how the hollow stickers looked in the light. And as of right now, about a year and some change later, I have 59 followers. So as you can see, the Instagram was not a success. That's almost nobody. It is what it is. So basically, my advertising efforts have not resulted in any human eyes on my stickers or on my sticker shop. What I do get is a lot of bots, a lot of spam bots posting their stupid DM this photo to blah 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 on every single thing I post. But for the most part, not a lot of real people And since that's been my main avenue for promoting my art, not a lot of people making it to the website either. And I do have analytics on my website. They are reliant on the user accepting the cookies. If they don't accept the cookies, they won't show up in the analytics. So these numbers may be a little bit low, but in the past year, I've gotten 82 visits to my site, and that's to the whole site. It's not even specifically for the shop. And then from those 82 visits, I have gotten the total sales from the whole last year, drum roll please, 5 orders. And you know, I don't want to sound ungrateful. I am grateful for every order that I get, and I appreciate it a lot, especially with a lot of the things I'm going to talk about next about cost and pricing. It is really, really kind of people to order from my shop. And I'll just mention now, every single order from my shop, I know from seeing the orders, they are all friends that I've made through Twitch. Not a single stranger has found and purchased stickers from my shop. It's all been people who very, very generously have wanted to support me in my art. They probably like the stickers too. I feel I'm pretty proud of them. I think my emote stickers are really nice. The slimes are very cute. So I don't think they did it only to support me, but I do think the fact that they ordered from me is a combination of knowing me and wanting to help me out in that way. So we got 5 orders, and I calculated out the profit after shipping costs, taxes, Printify fees, and Wix payment fees, and the profit of these 5 orders altogether is about $45. You can look at that number and see whether you think that the sticker shop has been a success or not. But the juicy part's coming up. We're going to break down what it costs to make and ship stickers currently with my current setup through Printify. And then after the changes, I'm going to talk about what it costs to make and ship stickers with the new system that I'm going with. So mostly what I sell in my shop are sticker sheets. These are some examples I've used some of this one, but they're 4x6 sticker sheets. I don't know if it's going to focus properly, but they're nice and small. They are vinyl. And then I also do have individual vinyl stickers. They're pretty small. They're about this big, a couple inches wide, I think. And those also have the 3 options: white vinyl, transparent vinyl, or holographic. And the sticker sheets start at $10 for the cheapest material, and then they go up to $12 for the hollow material. So they're expensive. I know that. I know they're expensive. I knew that when I set it up. And then the individual vinyl, I was charging between $5 and $7, depending on the material again, because the hollow material was more expensive to produce. So I had to increase the sale price to pay for that additional production cost. And so those prices, the 10 and the 5, are what I would charge customers. The Printify costs just to manufacture the stickers were about $6, $5 or $6 depending on material for the sheets, and between $2 and $5 depending on material for the individual stickers. The individual vinyl stickers were much cheaper to produce because I could use a different provider. And so if we stop here, if we only consider production costs, the maximum profit I could get off of any individual sticker is between $2 and $4, depending on the combination of like materials, whether it's individual and things like that. So that's kind of the maximum profit margin, 40% at the highest end. But we don't stop there, because once the stickers are produced, they do also need to get shipped. The way that Printed Simply ships stickers, it's about $4.50 to ship an order. And then if you have additional sheets within that order, it costs an extra like 50 cents. So $4.50 at the low end for one sticker sheet. If you add a couple more sticker sheets, it gets up to $6. And then if you keep going, of course, it gets higher. And then also, the shipping is per provider. So I mentioned I'm using 2 different providers because one has much better prices, but they ship separately. So if a person was to order one sticker from each provider, there would be 2 base shipping fees. So it would start at about $8. And I think $8 of shipping for 2 stickers potentially is too much. So what I was doing, I was trying to average out the shipping costs, sort of even it out by using some of the profits to cover if we were in sort of this special case for shipping. So I would charge a flat fee of $6 for shipping, and then if it was $8, that extra money would come out of the profit. So I wouldn't get as much profit, but it would make the shipping costs lower for the customer, which I felt like was important. So in the end, what really happened was some orders were much more profitable than others if they just happened to order all the same, but not too many. Some orders are actually like not quite in the negative. I didn't quite do the math that badly, but very little profit on some orders, just depending on how it was combined. And then at least once, this was for a sample order, which might have been why, but I did order 2 different kinds of stickers from the same provider, and they double charged me that base fee for shipping, which I was pretty mad about. I did contact Printify's support, and they told me, oh, we have no control over shipping, the providers charge that. So I don't know what happened there. So in the grand scheme of things, the profit margin of all of the things that I sold, the 5 orders, so the total cost and then the amount of profit that I actually got to keep as profit was about 20%. And like I mentioned, all of these orders were from friends, so the fact that I got that 20% profit margin was based on people being kind and maybe going outside their budget comfort zone a little bit. And if you look at, do some research on what a typical profit margin for stickers is, it's about 80 or 90%, because a surprise, it's not that hard to make stickers. You just print onto sticker paper and they're pretty much done. There's not a lot to them. So in the end, I decided to leave print on demand and move to a system where I'm making my own stickers, because as we're going to see, I can just strip away all of those extra charges and really bring the price down to a place where customers are paying, a fair competitive price for stickers and sticker sheets, but I'm still able to actually make money off of the business that I'm building. And like I mentioned in the silhouette video, this is really specific to print products that you can do at home. So art prints, stickers, all of these things you can make with a printer, like a normal printer, and then a fairly affordable sticker cutting machine if you also want to have them cut automatically. If you're talking about things like t-shirts, ceramic like mugs, all the different crazy things they have on Printify, like obviously these are much more complicated to do at home. And as a result of that, the prices that people charge, it's much higher on like a public marketplace like Etsy. You don't see the same kind of competitive pricing that you do with stickers because there's not a lot of options for everybody. There's all this different interplay between products and the market, and it's very interesting. It's not something I have a lot of experience with, but I'm learning. Now, onto the plan. The main change I'm making, as I mentioned, I'm going to be printing all of my stickers and cutting them at home and shipping them myself. So I have an Epson EcoTank printer. It is the 8500, I believe. And I'll mention now, some of these things that I got are not necessary, and I'll talk about expenses in a little bit, but I didn't technically need a new printer. We did have one that works. It just wasn't quite the quality that I wanted, so I got the new printer. And so far it looks like the ink is going to be more economical anyway, so it wasn't a bad purchase. I just could have coasted a little bit on the printer that I had if I really wanted to save money. I also got the Silhouette Portrait 3 back there, and then we get to shipping. So I'm really not very excited about shipping. This, as I said, was the main reason I wanted to go for print on demand. What I'm really hoping I can do, and we'll see as I open the shop and hopefully get some orders if this is going to be feasible, but I'm hoping I can mostly do domestic letter mail. If I can pack the stickers in there, I can ship them for like $1, like including the packaging, including the postage. Shipping is very easy, but also I can use the outgoing mail on my mailbox. As long as I don't have like 20 letters to send in a day, the little outgoing mail on our mailbox should be plenty to ship like one-off small orders. And then if I need to, I think there's a nearby like a retail drop-off. I still need to research that. Worst case scenario, I get a whole load of orders and I drive out to the post office, borrowing my partner's car. So I have options. Either way, I think I'm going to be able to handle it, and we're going to find out. And also, because of the dramatic decrease in expenses, one thing I'm going to be able to do is actually open up an Etsy shop. I kind of hinted at this. I don't know if I said it straight up, but I am opening an Etsy shop primarily to make use of their search engines. So I won't have to be the sole driver of all the traffic to my shop. I will have a little bit of help in that regard by being able to show up in Etsy results. And then if I think it's necessary or if I think it will help, I also have access to Etsy paid ads. I can also use Etsy to collect appropriate sales tax, which I do have through my website, but Etsy also does things like VAT. That being said, I'm not sure if I'm going to support international orders because I tried so hard to figure out how it works and how to make it feasible for a little tiny shop. I thought initially that I would be able to use letter mail, but I found out that there is a rule through the US Post Office. You cannot put anything in international letter mail that has value. And it doesn't matter if you fill out like a customs form. They specifically call out merchandise. I could just say it doesn't have value, but that would be, dishonest, and I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna put me at the risk of getting in trouble with the post office. If your contents of your mail have value, it does need to go as a package. So you could still use like an envelope, but the shipping costs are calculated for packages and not for letters. And I don't know, maybe someone can help me understand this in the comments, but I looked far and wide for cost calculators for shipping things internationally, and even if I have the lightest possible package, like 1 ounce of a package, it's small, and even if it's only going like a couple hours away to Canada, the absolute lowest shipping cost I found was over $15, and I just don't understand why that is. It seems like a huge amount of money, especially since if I were to send a letter internationally, it's like $1.50. So I would expect like something slightly larger than a letter to be a couple bucks. That's what I would expect, not 15 times as much, roughly. I even checked like FedEx, and their prices were double that of the post office, so I don't know. Is anyone going to pay $15 to have some stickers shipped to a different country? I probably wouldn't. With that, with the shipping cost being so high, and with the like customs declarations being a little bit fuzzy for me still, all of that is just, it's something I need to figure out still. I need to figure out if it's worth dealing with, if there's even demand for it. So I guess if you personally would or have bought art from another country, even if it meant a high shipping cost, even if it meant paying duty taxes, if you've done that or if you sincerely would do that, let me know in the comments, or you could even use the contact form on my website just so I can gauge whether this is worth my mental energy or not, because it is going to be a pain, I can already tell. Now we're going to talk about new expenses. And before I get into the expenses per sticker sheet, which will allow us to compare it to Printify, I am going to talk about the materials I had to buy in order to make any of this possible. So the printer, which I mentioned was unnecessary technically, but if you don't have a printer, you are going to need one, and it was $600 roughly. And then the Silhouette Portrait 3, this is actually not their most expensive model. The Cameo 4, I believe, is their like really high-end cutting machine. And because I don't really need the extra features or the extra width for what I'm doing, I just got the Silhouette Portrait 3. It was $150, which is, I think, pretty affordable. I also got another unnecessary machine, and I haven't even talked about this yet, but I got a label printer, a thermal label printer, so it doesn't use ink, it just uses heat to like activate color on thermal printing labels. And I just got this kind of on impulse. I was gonna handwrite all the addresses, but I thought it would be useful for things like shipping labels and also for printing out my return address, you know, just an easy format so I wouldn't have to keep writing it. There are other options for this. You could get a stamp. You could print onto some envelope. You could also order custom envelopes if you want to do something like that. But I got a label printer. I'll see if it's worth it in the end. And after I have the machines that I need to do this, we need materials to print on. So because I'm testing a lot of these products out for the first time, a lot of the paper I got in small packs, and I got a lot of different kinds. So once I figure out what I like to use, what works best, and pick sort of the brands and materials that I like to work with, these costs should go down a bit because I will be able to buy in bulk. And with paper especially, there's a huge discount for buying in bulk. For plain paper stickers, which are just paper, I got these because you can write on them. They work excellent for planner stickers, about 24 cents per sheet. I also got some vinyl sticker sheets. I got a couple versions of a matte white vinyl. I got a glossy white vinyl. I got a glossy transparent vinyl. I think that's all of the different kinds of vinyl I got. And these were a little bit more expensive, about 60 cents per sheet. And these were all in fairly small batches, so we could bring that price down a bit if I were to get it in like packs of 100. And then the last kind of paper I got was holographic paper, and this comes in two varieties. There's printable holographic paper, which you can print right on with the printer. Usually inkjets work better for these, but sometimes it will say on this one specifically for laser printers or this one specifically for inkjet printers. But I know that these can be kind of hard to work with, so I'd really recommend going small, testing things out, and then deciding what you want to do long term, because there's just a lot to consider. And then the other kind of holographic paper is actually not printable, it's an overlay. So I only got one of those. Basically, you print your stickers onto something else, whether it's vinyl or paper, and then you take the sheet of hollow film, essentially, and you stick it over the top of the stickers, and then you cut them out from there. And I found this to be so horrible, such a horrible process. It's very easy to like get bubbles, to accidentally like move the paper so it's like really misaligned, or if it sticks to itself, you're done. You have to start over. So these exist. The pros to the overlay is that they usually have a much stronger like effect. They just shine a lot more. They shine brighter. I actually have some here. Let's see if I can get, there we go. This is one of the ones I made with the overlay. Very sparkly, but such a pain to work with. And it also makes the sticker paper much thicker, so you really need to dial in your settings on your cutting machine to make sure that it's right, because you can't just reuse the same like vinyl, because it's potentially twice as thick. And actually the holographic stickers were about the same price as the vinyl, at about 60 cents per sheet. So with all of that, how much does it cost to make each sticker sheet? So the sticker sheets I've formatted so I can fit exactly 4 on a page. And then the vinyl, the individual vinyl stickers, they're about 2 inches square. Depending on how it's laid out and whether it's like longer or taller, I could fit about 12 to 20 individual vinyl stickers on one sheet. And what this means is that the sticker sheets cost just about between 6 and 15 cents, depending on paper, for each individual sticker sheet. And I have an example of one of these. They're slightly smaller than 4x6, just to make sure that they can fit on the page together, because there is like a little border where you can't cut because it needs that to put the registration lines and figure out where the machine is. But this is the sheet. It's about 3.5 by 4.5 inches. And this one's paper. Those cost between 6 and 15 cents to make. And then the individual vinyl stickers, like this one, are really only between 3 and 5 cents, which is kind of on par with if you get like a big bulk order of vinyl stickers from like a sticker manufacturer. That's about, close to the prices that they offer. And I think if my math is right, I think this means that by moving from Printify to doing it myself, I've lowered the cost for a sticker sheet by about 97%, which is incredible. Obviously this does mean I am paying more in terms of my time. So we're dramatically reducing like the material costs, but we are increasing labor costs, which are kind of hard to quantify right now because I don't have a good feel for how much time this is actually going to take me to print out these sheets and pack them and ship them. So that's something I'll need to figure out later to see if maybe my time is better spent doing something else. I don't know. But after we've printed the sheets, we do have to pack them and post them. So we need to pay for materials to pack it in and postage. For packing normal orders through the letter mail, as I mentioned, I'm going to use an envelope with a little bag, like a little cellophane bag to protect it from like moisture specifically. A piece of cardstock. It's not too rigid to mess up the letter machines, but rigid enough that I think it'll prevent any serious bending. And then just the postage, a stamp, or I'm still looking at whether Etsy lets you buy letter postage, because I've read that they do, but when I plug in the values on the listing for how much shipping should cost, it does not calculate letter postage. So I'm unsure if it's just the estimate that's broken or if they actually don't offer letter postage. So I can't look at their postage purchasing system until I actually have an order. So that's going to be a surprise, but I have stamps either way. I have plenty of stamps to use. Even if, for example, a letter gets too heavy or it needs that non-machinable charge, I should have enough stamps to cover that as well. The little cellophane baggies that I got are about 6 cents when you buy them in bulk. I got 100 and it works out to about 6 cents each. The envelopes I got are 8 cents each, and they're just plain white envelopes. They're 4.5 by 5.5 inches, and I sized all of this very carefully so that the sticker sheets fit inside the bags and the bags fit inside the envelopes, and there shouldn't be any squishing to get them to fit. It should be a comfortable fit so that they don't get bent or wiggle around in the envelope or create a big lump or anything like that. And then my foolish cardstock selection, I don't know what I was thinking. I got metallic silver cardstock because I thought it would be cute, and then I realized later it's like enormously more expensive than a plain white cardstock. So the cardstock I got works out to about 40 cents for each backing card. If you were to get bulk plain white cardstock, it would be about 5 cents. So that obviously is a much better option. I should have done that, but I'll use up the ones I have and then I'll make a more responsible decision next time. So all in all, if you're getting the cheaper cardstock, it's about 19 cents to pack an order, assuming it fits inside an envelope. And then if you're me, it costs 54 cents because you spent most of it on shiny metallic cardstock. And then postage. So postage varies depending on different things. So for letter mail, it has to be within a certain dimension. I forget what the biggest letter can be, but mine is well within that range. It also, if you want to just pay the normal letter price, which I think is 66 cents, it has to be maximum of 1 ounce in weight, and it has to be rectangular. Same thing goes for if the letter is too rigid If it can't bend enough to go through the machines, that also is non-machinable, so it needs an extra charge. But with a couple of sheets of stickers within an envelope and that cardstock, which is pretty flexible, it's not like a piece of cardboard, it is just cardstock paper. I think it should be good, and I think the stickers should be relatively well protected in their little baggie, in the envelope with the cardstock. I think it'll be okay. And then absolute worst case scenario, if the stickers are just like mangled in shipping, I can pretty easily send out another order and it won't be that big of a deal. So you can see clearly, I'm still working out the actual pricing. I'm hoping to do that today, but bringing our expenses down from potentially like $10 to produce and ship to $1 to produce and ship a sticker sheet, I can actually set competitive sticker sheet prices. I'm thinking around between $3 and $5 instead of $10 to $12. And then the individual stickers I can make even cheaper, maybe like $1 or $2, which is much, much more in line with what other Etsy sellers are charging for their stickers. I had to take the long way to get here. I had to try and fail before I could really learn like what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, but I feel like I'm on a much better path. At the time I'm recording this, I've done a lot of test printing, narrowed down the designs that I'm gonna offer in my shop, at least in the beginning. I have all the supplies I need to fill orders and to ship them, and I'm kind of ready to open the shop. All I have left to do is take product photos and actually plug the listings into Etsy, which is going to be a today project. It's going to be a long project, probably bubbling over into tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is try to have this video go live when the shop is live, so that if you're watching this, you should be able to go either to Etsy, potentially my website. I've been thinking about having both as options. My website obviously would be cheaper for me because Etsy wouldn't be taking a fee, but that would require me to set up the listings in both places, which I'm not sure I'll have time to do right away. So at the very least, the Etsy shop should be open. You should be able to go there, look at all the stickers I have, see the new setup, and if you'd like to, you can buy some, and I will mail them out to you personally. Once the shop is open, and it's been open for a couple of weeks, I'll be able to see whether the search engine is actually giving me some more traffic to my postings. Maybe I'll try reconfiguring like the tags and the titles or the images to see if it works better. And then if I really want to, and I can find room in the budget, I can do some paid ads through Etsy and see if that helps. So I have a lot of options here. There's a lot of potential. So here it is, the new shop. I hope you liked this video. Sorry I teased it for so long. I just wasn't ready, but now it's all ready to go. So please subscribe if you found this helpful. I'm excited to get started. I'm excited to see how it goes. And of course, I'm still doing the Alphabet Superset project where I make a new sticker sheet design every week for the next 6 months. So stick around. I'll be back soon with another video, and I hope to see you there. Bye bye.